So, as part of Women's History Month, I'm continuing the interview series on women making history now. And today I have the pleasure of introducing a really amazing professional woman, Amanda Fludd. Amanda Fludd is a psychotherapist. She's also a private practice owner, and she's a business mindset coach. Thank you so much for joining me today, Amanda.
Oh, a pleasure.
So, Amanda, I know I'm very familiar with a lot of what you do. I follow you on social media. You know, we run in this a similar or same circle, and I think you're just doing so much amazing work. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're making history now? In other words, what you're doing to contribute professionally now?
Ooh, what a lovely question. I'm so excited. I think it's always awesome when we can pause and kind of highlight the amazing work of women. So I really do
Yeah.
appreciate this opportunity. For me, it's all about just creating spaces for minority women in particular. I think to just kind of encourage them and empower them to go after their dreams. For
Mhm.
me, it's amazing just as a therapist to be able to take those skills as a therapist. And I want to say social worker too. Happy social worker,
Yes, thank
right?
you.
Oh, yes, we deserve all the accolades we can get. We work
We
so hard.
do. Absolutely, yes.
Goodness. Yeah, so I get to take all that and really help women kind of move past their fears and help us take up more space, right? I
Mhm.
love the idea that our skills as professionals can be used not just to benefit the organizations and the systems that we work for, but for ourselves. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think we have to be really mindful of our own blind spots to our growth. And I think that's where like coaching comes in particular, right? Because we can want something really, really badly, but kind of get in our way as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's important to you about the work that you do?
I always come from a place of, I think, serving in the way that I would want to be served, right? Or helping in the way that I would want to help, right? So I think for the work, it's really a reflection of what I wanted for myself in terms of support and encouragement as I was building and going from like a solo practitioner, working in an agency, all that good stuff, and building my practice. And it also reflects the sides of that was hard, the parts that was scary, the parts that I was afraid of, and still working through, right? There's times that I'm afraid to put myself out there. There's parts of me that's kind of afraid of rejection. And, because of that, I'll hold myself back. So it's exciting for me to kind of put all those parts out there, but in a way that will also encourage other women, other people. And for me,
Mhm.
again, it comes back to that heart-centered place of like your success is my success at the end of the day too.
Yes, I love that, Amanda. Absolutely. I love that. So what do you, when you think about how your work helps others, what would you say? How does the work help others? And then there's so many ways just from hearing what you just said, right? Like walking people through so much that can prevent their growth. But in your words and what comes to mind to you, for you, how do you help others in your work?
I'm gonna say that I help myself first. And that might sound
That's a
kind of
good thing.
selfish and stingy, but I'll give you a quote there from Lady Gaga of all people, right? But some women choose to follow men and some choose to follow their dreams. And if you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you that it doesn't love you anymore. And I had this moment
Wow,
where
powerful.
mhm, I woke up one day at my job and realized they didn't love me anymore.
I know the feeling. Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And
That's today's
nobody was telling
news.
me, right? And it was like a slow death to me. And when I realized that I was dying at my job because I couldn't be effective anymore at creating change, I decided to
Yeah.
follow my dreams, and a real part to that is the thinking behind the growth, like fear, and like I mentioned, those emotions that kind of come up. So,
Yeah.
I think by recognizing that in myself and learning how to really kind of apply and do the things that I teach for myself, I'm really better able to kind of do it for other people. So my work is a
Mhm.
reflection of that. So, I want folks to know that, they're able and they're capable. I want folks to know that, it makes sense that sometimes it's scary to leave what you know, right? I remember when I was leaving I work in a primarily, I'd say women-oriented place. And like
Mhm.
so many people looked at me like, I can't believe you're doing this, right? Like leaving my good state job of 11 years, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
um, One woman in particular was like, I really admire your courage to do this. And, that was powerful for me, not just because I didn't feel like I was courageous, but also because the flip side to me, it felt as though she didn't feel as though she was courageous enough to do
Mm.
something so big. And I think that's
Yeah.
what really kind of sat with me too. It's almost like a little bit of her hurt, right? And
Right.
her wishing and her longing kind of sat with
Mhm.
me.
Mhm. Right.
Um, and I think that's the part that I love to speak to in this work, because it'll come up, right? And it's that part sometimes that holds us back, and it doesn't
Yes.
matter who you are, right? As professionals, we feel that the resistance of growth. It may come up as procrastination, it may come up as those fears that, we hold ourselves back. So we've got to know, as we get into these bigger playing fields, how to really navigate those things. And I really want to not just position myself, but position
Mhm.
those that I work with to excel as well. But it definitely certainly started from understanding my own process and what was happening.
Yeah.
I get to translate that now into, joy and skills and additional income for the people
Right.
that I work
Right.
with.
Absolutely. And I think I really, I'm so focused on two things that you just said, right?
Mm,
Like one is waking up in that organization and seeing that you are no longer like, valued the same way. And I think
right.
many of us experience that. And I know I've experienced that.
Mm,
And it really can be a tremendous loss.
it
And
is.
so I think the way that you have built an entire business on what you really want for yourself and took those lessons and turned them into something incredible that is able to change the lives of so many is just an amazing thing. And then the other thing that I think is that it takes so much courage to do it. So I'm glad that you're able to like be that example of courage for them, both from your own process but also from teaching, right? So I think that's really from coaching. When
Yeah.
I see
It's like a dual
yeah, when I see
process, right? It's
professionals,
like your
yeah.
own growth, as much as you're giving. And I think the more you give, and I think that's the beauty of when you
Mhm.
do teach, it makes you a stronger teacher too, right? Because you learn from
Yeah,
who you're working with, and it's this great like back and forth exchange of
absolutely.
energy. Yeah.
Absolutely. In my practice, when I do like the training therapists on how to become therapists, without mindset work, we get nowhere. So I
I
think
know.
that you're what you're offering is just beyond words,
Yeah, I think it's like
useful
the
and
biggest part of
important.
business building, right? That people don't realize is needed,
Mhm.
or like we take for granted, right? It is that thinking. Otherwise, it's just not
Right.
gonna happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so my final question, Amanda, is how has your work made a difference? How have you made a difference? And of course, we're going to be mindful of confidentiality, but if you can think about, in terms of your company and what they offer, a business, an individual, a community, a family, a program, whatever it may be, how have you made a difference?
Yeah, I've done that in so many different ways,
Mhm.
within just my practice and all the people that we serve. But I think coaching is just near and dear to my heart at the moment. And um, there's a woman that I worked with recently and still working with her now. And she came to me saying just how happy she was in
Mhm.
her business now. And when she started, she wasn't, and she wasn't sure
Yeah.
really what she wanted to do. And there was definitely a disconnect between her and her purpose. Um, and it showed up because she wasn't doing the things that she needed to do for her business. She
Right.
wasn't even using all the stuff she spent money on, right? Like how many of us like we go spend money on all these extra certifications and all these extras,
Right. Right.
but we don't do it, right? We don't do the work. We never finish it. It sits somewhere. We lose the password, child. We don't even know what we
Right.
bought, right?
Right.
um, so it was good to meet her at that point and really work with her to get clear on what she needed. And like we talked about like the mindset stuff, right? So, we spent a lot of time on that emotional foundation, things like her self-awareness, time management, and as well as the logistics, right? So organizing her content, reframing those negative ideas, again, going back to
Mhm.
mindset. And recently she said to me that she didn't even realize how much progress that she's made since she started with me. And she just had like this aha moment where she's like, you know, wait, like I am happy now with what I'm doing, right? And it was
Yeah.
clear because she was showing up more online. She was talking about her business and what she does, and you know, she's more confident in that, and that was turning into more connections, and then absolutely more income for her, right? But that light bulb moment that happened for her, and she was all like in tears telling me that, like it was
Wow.
like a proud mama moment for me. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, right. And it was like, yes, this magic works, right?
Right.
And that was just in 3 months, and she's still with me. So I think that just says something when you can help someone, they still want to stay connected to you, and they can really see the power of their work. And for me, it's like I just see so much more for her. And it's really a privilege to work with her, just to see that. And that's why I kind of come from, again, just from this place of your success is my success. And it's more of an honor for me to work with you than anything else. But yeah,
Wow.
that was my moment.
That's amazing, Amanda. That's tremendous. And just hearing that, right, is making me think like you're a business mindset coach, right? But I feel like you should be a business mindset coach with an apostrophe, with an exclamation mark. I'm sorry. Because the fact that you're a psychotherapist,
Yeah.
I know that has to feed and make you even more powerful as a business mindset coach. So I think that that's terrific that you're
Yeah.
able to offer that and help
It's
people
like our
grow their business.
superpowers, right? I'm sure,
Yeah,
like you're saying, like you infuse a lot of that into the work that you do and helping people build their practices and things like that. Because a lot of it is just like this idea of, can we do it? And we've
right.
learned so many concrete ways to not just tell you yes you can, but show you how. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amanda. And if people want to reach you, how can they reach you? Of course, I'll put your information in the narrative portion of the video, but if people want to reach you, what's the best way to reach you?
You guys can always go to my website, www.amandafludd.com. And I think you could also follow me on social media on Instagram at the same amanda.fludd. So you can find me, just look up my name, honey. We'll connect.
Terrific, terrific. Thanks again, Amanda. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.